We are here at the behest, basically, first of all, of the South African High Commission, because of the request and the demand by the Somali community to react to the killing generally of Somalis in South Africa. At the time, we did not know much about that. We had to find out from home. And we found that this had been taking place. The issue was being raised at a high level, first with the office and government. More importantly, it was raised during TICAD in Japan by the Somali president with the president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma. And in one of the questions that was being raised yesterday when we met is that they had not seen any statement that came from the high-ups of the South African government to say this is not what the South African government, condemning generally such a move. So, but unfortunately, all of us were unaware. This had already been raised by Comrade Zuma with the president of Somali in TICAD in Japan. And he had explained what had happened. We wanted also that it should not end basically with the government, but also the ruling party, the African National Congress should have said. But also from the beginning we found out, no, when it happened a week before, something like that, it had already issued a statement condemning this, and this was not available in London, including the African National Congress, Youth League. It came out very openly and clearly. The colleagues and comrades who were here yesterday from Somali also said they saw that. But despite we thought that it was necessary for us to issue a statement to clarify whatever had happened. So, in again, we wrote a statement which we sent to Foreign Affairs, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs issued that statement this morning. And that is what I'm going to read here. Are we agreed?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. A media statement during the press conference with the Somali community in the United Kingdom. On behalf of the government and people of South Africa, I would like to express the South African government's strongest condemnation of the recent attacks and killing of Somalis and other foreign nationals in South Africa. In terms of our constitution, South Africa belongs to all who live in it, and we therefore have been appalled and deeply saddened by the recent acts of violence against Somalis and other foreign nationals in South Africa. The looting, displacement, and killing of foreign nationals in South Africa should not only be viewed as xenophobic, but also as opportunistic criminal acts that will undermine the unity and cohesiveness of our communities, even in South Africa. There is no cause to justify this heinous crime. We are therefore hopeful that our law enforcement agencies will bring to justice those who incited and perpetrated these criminal acts. Our thoughts and prayers are also with the victims, families, and friends of these horrific crime. We recall the support and solidarity accorded to us during our fight against apartheid by the African people, including Somalis, and wish to express our sincere gratitude. As South Africa, we value our close relations with our neighbors and the rest of the African continent. Our relations with Somali people have always been cordial, and it is our hope that these ghastly acts against the Somalis and other people in South Africa will not derail our efforts to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries and peoples. This is a statement that I issue. First of all, do you want to ask questions?
I would like to ask questions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us. My name is Abdi. You condemn it strongly and we hear it. But that is not good enough. What Somali people are asking in London today and around the world is nothing but action on the ground to bring to justice those who are behind this hideous murder and bring them and protect the rest of the Somalis in there. What we want is insurance and action in the ground rather than apology.
What do you mean by apology?
To say sorry for what has happened is not good enough, simply. That's what we're saying. It's not good enough. What we're talking about is here a mother, pregnant mother, who's been murdered in her own home. We're talking about a young father with 2 children who's been stoned to death on the streets, broad daylight, and nothing has happened so far other than sorry. That's not good enough. It could be your son, it could be my mother tomorrow. So what we want, what we're asking is action on the ground and to bring those people to justice.
Sure. I thought we said so. What we said, the looting, displacement, and killing of foreign nationals in South Africa should not only be viewed as xenophobic attacks, but opportunistic criminal acts that will undermine the unity and cohesion of our communities. There is no cause to justify this heinous crime. We are therefore hopeful that our law enforcement agencies will bring to justice those who incited and perpetrated these criminal acts.
So there will be action taking place?
Oh yes, sure.
How soon would that be?
Well, I cannot. I'm sitting in London. Really.
Excuse me, sir. I'm Amina, by the way. When crime happened, those who should be solved is the police and the justice system. Now we are aware some of police officers, South African police officers, has been arrested because they killed an immigrant.
What?
Immigrant. One immigrant. And that case is going on in your country. And all the media all over the world are covered. So is your police and justice system could be trusted? If the police is killing the people, police should protect the community.
Yeah, I thought you said
well, they are immigrants.
There is a process, madam. You said the people have been arrested. Before and afterwards, they definitely have to appear in court. It must be due to the law. And then through that process, the judges in the court will decide what sentences if they are found guilty. I repeat.
But it wasn't happened first time. It had happened before, even that situation, and they have nothing done that things.
Well, I don't know, but we're talking about the case.
It's been killing Somalian, even not in first time they've been killing Somalian there. It's not first time they've been looting that business. It's not first time. It's been happening even before.
Brother, let us be reasonable. We're talking about a certain case that are taking place at the present moment. We must have something to show that we are doing this, and we are going to ensure that the people that are concerned, that were involved, the perpetrators, will end up in jail itself. And it is the courts that only that can be able to do that. Individually, it would not be true. would not be possible.
Yes. As the statement you have read is saying all foreigners, not stating Somali ethnic. What's going on there is almost 700, more than 700 people being killed in last 5 years. And your statement not saying Somali, and saying foreign nationals. So what's your opinion and what you want to say in the media regarding this case in Somalians? What you want to say in the media, in your office, and the High Commissioner of South Africa and in the United Kingdom? What do you want to say about the media?
The people.
What are you going to tell us? What do you want to tell the Somali people?
I don't understand.
Can
I really don't
Can I
understand.
just rephrase it?
Can you put it
if
simpler?
I understood him clearly. What he's saying is, the statement you have there, it talks about general
Yes.
people in South Africa, not the indigenous people, it talks about anyone who's foreigners. What he's saying is what we want is specifically for Somalis being targeted, rather than talking about people from
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm trying to say.
countries. That's what he's saying.
The only people amongst the foreigners that have been mentioned in this statement and in the statement of the president is the Somalis. Yeah, they are now. You can read it for yourself.
Do we have a copy of this afterwards?
Sure.
Thank you.
It's Somalis. But it's not only the Somalis that are going through this process. The question when we use the word xenophobic, in fact, it's a collective of different people in general. Hatred of people who are not like you.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you a question, sir. I'm Ali Sheikh, I'm from STF.
Pardon?
We know that your government, in South Africa government, they didn't say anything about it. We know that 504 people, Somalis are killed last year. That's from 2011 to now. 504. I have a report discovered today. And also we know that your bodies, the South African bodies, are the part of the crime. So what are they going to say us in South African government?
504, you say? Well, I mean, we are talking about these people. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let us be fair. Fair. We are talking about these 2 or 3 people that were talking Port Elizabeth, isn't so? Isn't so? Yeah. And this is the issue that has raised the anger, basically, of the Somali community, both here and in South Africa. And also it's the same issue that has raised the religious community in South Africa about such issues. Possibly there might have been, in fact I'm sure there must be quite a number of other things that have happened. But at this time, in fact what was the accusation yesterday, we are not saying anything in general, it is not even so that the people should be able to know. That's what they said yesterday. You were not here.
No.
Huh?
She was not. She was.
No, she was not. Definitely not.
I wasn't here.
No, you were not.
I wasn't around there.
You were not there. Completely. She was there. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she was. In fact, that is the question. That it seems we are repeating the same questions we were talking about yesterday. The cries and complaints of the Somali community in London, but also the cries and complaints, basically, of treatment of Somalis in South Africa. Yeah, that is the issue. That's what we were all about. So we are saying we've heard, but also in the process, we also learned that there are some people that have been arrested, and some of them will have to appear in court. There is no way in which you can do anything to somebody without him or her getting his constitutional right.
Can I say one thing? This criminal, it's not starting now, it is starting before. And I say you already, from 2011 to now, they killed in South Africa, 504 people that we have the report.
Well, we don't know about that.
And also we know last year, 2011, women with a pregnancy, they killed it. And also, they got it and raped it as well. And they didn't answer the South African question. Even they didn't say anything. Even they
Who was that?
And yeah. And why? What are you gonna answer that question?
I don't hear you. Can you interpret again?
The case of the pregnant woman, the pregnant mother who lost her life and being raped at the same time, that case went to court, and the person who was behind it was put behind bars for the rest of his life, thanks to your government. But as you can imagine, the anger outside and around the world and in this world is that this has been going on for quite some time, and your government turned blind eye to it, and that's what's making people angry. You say you were not aware of it, but the fact of the matter is we were aware of it. You're in London, in this wonderful office, you wouldn't know, because it's not your mother or your son or your daughter that have been targeted and killed back home in South Africa. And people of South Africa are the last people to kill another black man because of what you've been through for 500 years of slavery, and you're killing for another black man. That is what is making people angry and unacceptable and actively people are doing. And I'm not saying all South Africans are bad, by the way, don't get me wrong. We all have our black sheep among ourselves. But killing a pregnant woman mother, stoning to death a young man on the streets, where people, mothers and women are watching and clubbing as the guy being stoned to death. I mean, what kind of society are you having?
Actually, I'm not there. I'm going to go ahead.
No, we said yesterday when they raised the number of the people that have been killed, and we said we are not aware of that. We did not get those statistics. And I even asked twice, can you repeat the number? We could not. Nor did we know that there were people that were arrested. We only heard it this morning. Nor did we know that other people were arrested, not only in Port Elizabeth, or some other Somalis had been killed also in Cape Town. So in fact, we only had collecting all that information in order to be able to make use of it. Where the Somalis, the majority of the Somalis are in my town, that is Cape Town, most of them. Simply because...
You can't...
Thank you very much. I think we are almost finishing.
Thank you.
My just question is, what is your message to the Somalis in South Africa? What's your final message to them? Yeah.
No, but I think the message I said at the beginning, that the message was given by the president when he spoke to your president. And also, the same message was given by the Minister of Foreign Affairs this morning to that effect. Clearly that we support the people of Somali. We're one of the very few people in Africa that came out very, very clearly and recognized your government. Secondly, we're one of the people, one of the few African countries that you opened an embassy in South Africa representing the people of Somali. We also maintain that, just recently, an amount of 100 million rands had been given to the government of Somali in order to create a government. But more importantly, there are quite a big number of Somalis are being trained by the South African government in order for them to be able to run their own government and administration in Somalia. There is nothing of the fact that we do not support the Somalis. We know the Somalis. We know from the time of Jaraaid the fact that he might not have had enough money to give to us. He might not have had enough money, but basically his voice in the OAU at that time, and in the United Nations was heard. And it made a lot of people, inspired them quietly under oppression. So as far as we're concerned, there is it's a pity. That is why everybody is angry at the present moment in South Africa, including the South African government, that they are going to do the best that they can to have these people arrested. Especially at the time when we were training Somali in South Africa, to be administrators, to be diplomats and every other thing in South Africa. So there is nothing, there is a question of enmity and hostility between ourselves and our people. We consider you as brothers.
We know that.
Nothing else. We went to school with Somalis all around Western Europe. We know them. Some of them are still in South Africa working. So there is no question of somebody to be angry. There is a question of being, because I'm also angry. Because I don't see why an African can really lose his life simply because of some crook. Especially the question that we're raising. You get my point? This is the question that is there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No, I want you people to know that, I don't know whether you have told, but quite a big number of Somalis are being trained in South Africa in government itself.